Okay. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, lost that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Come on. Quit. That crap. There we go. Okay. What is going on here in terms of why this is happening? Microphone. Let's. Okay. Fine. Okay. You guys have sound? All right, we have sound, but we do not have captions. That's because the captions are, well, let's just say the captions are the captions. They apparently are a bit of a problem here. I don't know why. Anyway, I would have to like shut down all of my stuff if I wanted to do the captions. So, all right. Well, that was a bit of an anticlimactic start. Okay, so somehow my OBS studio crapped out on me. I don't know why. Anyway, all right, folks. Hello there, everyone. I am. Let's go ahead and restart. So before I get the show started, I want to let you know I was turned on by somebody in the Outlaw Dogs chat with regards to a place, another streaming platform called Pilled.net, P-I-L-L, Pilled.net. And Pilled.net is apparently another platform that is like Rumble and some of the other ones. Some of the other ones that are out there. Pilled.net is the name of it. Pilled.net. And, well, let's just say that I'm giving that a try. I'm giving it a try. Now, I have no idea. I mean, it looks like, and I'm learning, but it looks like you can do a lot of different things. There's chats, there's all kinds of stuff that is out there for you to take a look at. You can go and check it out. I don't know what the heck's going on there. Anyway, you can go and check it out. Pilled.net, Pilled.net. And if you're interested in checking it out, yeah, everything is just going to be all screwed up now. Wow. Facebook's messed up. X is messed up. The reason why, by the way, I'm doing it is because of the fact that I'm looking for alternatives to like YouTube and YouTube and other folks. So just letting you know, I don't know how long I'm going to stay on YouTube or Facebook or anything like that, but I want to welcome Pilled.net, folks. There's a person over there right now, 2080 Outdoors. And if you take a look here, yep, there they are. Now, one thing that's kind of cool about Pilled.net, I guess, is you can do stickers. So unlike Rumble, which only has like emoticons, the Pilled.net apparently has a few more features in the chat than what is normally there. I've been told it's sort of a combination between like Facebook and Rumble and YouTube and Rumble. And I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff that's going on. But anyway, it's a brand new platform. So I want to welcome everybody who is over on Pilled.net for this. And you guys can go and check it out. Apparently, it'll also operate like a regular chat room would, like Facebook would. But again, it allows you to live stream to it as well. And that's what I was attempting to do. And we ended up losing audio for whatever reason in the beginning. So I apologize for that. technical difficulties. I am a one-man band for all of you that are out there. I am a one-man band, so, when things go wrong, I got to fix them. Anyway, go and check it out if you want to. It's pilled.net. That's PILLED.net. I think it's safe, or I think it's free for you to sign up. I'm actually using the free version right now. So, and see, there you go. It gave me a salute, an American flag salute. So, and supposedly, I guess there's like something. I saw a message earlier where it said that I was red pilled, which probably means something like if you're red pilled, that means I'm hoping that you're American patriotic kind of thing. I don't know. 2080 Outdoors is going to have to school me on all of this because they're the only ones that are they're the only one in the chat over there. So, but anyway, yeah, there's a couple other people red pilled my topic. So it must mean that it's these are your conservative topics versus the blue pill, which of course would be Democrat, is my guess. Anyway, you might want to give it a try, pilled.net. All right, let's get the entire show started now that we've got everything going. Usually I have my closed captioning running up here, but that's not working right now. So anyway, all right, let's go ahead and get things kicked off. And speaking about that, I did not change over the pledge. So give me just a second. I was so excited about pilled.net that I forgot to do some things when I was starting up. Anyway, all right, there we go. Tonight is my news. My news is up for the pledge. So if you are of mind, please stand, remove your hat if you're wearing one, like me. Place your hand over your heart and follow along with my news as she recites the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, and I thank you, My News, for that wonderful rendition of the pledge. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself reciting or performing the pledge in your style. Take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, and attach it to an email. Send it off to me. Send it to fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online, and I will get you into the rotation. I have 24 of these wonderful items. I'd like to get 2 more to get 26 by the end of 2026. So if you haven't done so, please do it as soon as possible. If you decide to use your phone to record the recitation, then all you need to do is use the share option. That's the SHARE option, share option, and you can send it to fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online, and I will get you into the rotation. All right, tonight's headline sponsor is none other than, oh, goodness. See, that's what I get for trying to do stuff that's new. Anyway, where is it? There it is. The American View. That's right. And they can be found at theamericanview.com. The American View is formerly known as the Institute on the Constitution. They have a vision, and that vision is to provide or to help to attain a nation of effective and influential contributors to American government, society, and culture, prepared by educational resources formed on the biblical and transformative heritage of America's founding. You can head on over to theamericanview.com and become a defender of truth, liberty, and God-given rights by first learning about none other than the U.S. Constitution. And they have an opportunity here. You can start your constitutional journey by getting lesson 1 in their Constitution course free. All you need to do is fill out your first name, last name, enter your email address, and click on the Get Lesson 1 free button right there. And once they do that, once you do that, they will email you the first lesson right to your box. Now, it's 100% online, nationally recognized, and each course is 15 to 20 minutes long. And basically what you'll end up doing is, you go through the courses and you'll learn about the U.S. Constitution and its historical founding from a biblical worldview, of course. Oh, and I guess I'm being told by Outlaw Dogs that a red pill is a kind of like a like. So anyway, all right. Anyway, after you do that, you can go and check out their other courses, and there you can also be a part of the community. You can become a donator or a sponsor, member, or better yet, become an instructor. That's right. Leave a legacy, restore the constitutional republic, and prepare the future by holding a course in your community. My audio got all screwed up. Anyway, so what you can do is go and sign up and become an instructor. If you want to know how to become an instructor, check this out. Check out this video right here. And if you want 5 tips for a successful class, there's that one. Plus, you also have the instructor kit available. Now, you can pick up the instructor kit by going to their shop. That's right. The shop, where you can pick up the U.S. Constitution course, other educational resources, self-evident apparel, as well as other instructor materials. But my personal favorites are right up here above my head, called the Legacy Library. The Legacy Library is filled with leather products. Yeah, I like the leather Declaration of Independence wall hanging, the Bill of Rights, so on and so forth. But your best spot is, and your best option is, of course, to get this item right here. That is the U.S. Constitution in a leather book bound. This little item right here, okay, is fantastic. It's a pocket-sized book. It has, according to my Whiskey Warrior P1s over on Rumble, a sexy rounded corners. And according to my Whiskey Warrior 3 Chevy, he says that all amendments in the rounded cornered book are in ascending numerical order. Take a look at this thing. It's got 1/8 of an inch of Saddleback leather wrapped around pages that are water and tear resistant. No cheap glue here, folks. There is stitching all the way through the leather and the pages contained within. It's got a 100-year warranty against materials and manufacturing defects, such that if you have a problem with this thing, you can send it back to the manufacturer and they will either fix it or replace it for free. It is buddy tested, buddy approved, Billy tasted, Billy approved. My youngest Whiskey Warrior has confirmed that the information contained within will help you to achieve your civics badge in Scouts, as well as your civics exam and your naturalization test. Head on over to theamericanview.com, go to their shop, and go to the Legacy Library and pick yours up today. I do appreciate The American View for being a sponsor of this show. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it, folks. Yeah, let's get into it. So, yeah. Outlaw Dogs is over on Pilled right now. He says Billy did taste it. That's where Billy came from. Billy did taste it, and it is confirmed. So anyway. Oh, and apparently some liberals have gotten a hold of said book in about 20 states because there is a wave of explosive diarrhea. Yeah, they usually do when they handle the Constitution. They definitely don't like it. All right. Let's move on. So, speaking of the Constitution and, coming up 2028, one of my fears, well, it's not really a fear, but one of my fears, I guess you could call it, it's just a phraseology, come on, folks, is that we have a really incredibly stupid person run for president. I mean, it's bad enough that we had Cackles the Clown last time. But I don't think that the Democrats are going to put forth another, let's say, good candidate. Well, somebody is toying with the idea of running a younger candidate. And of course, just like what I honestly think happened with Obama, which was essentially that everybody that voted for him got it in their mind, I should say, that we should have a black president. I have a very bad feeling that somebody somewhere is going to be like, hey, you know what? We need a woman president. Well, J.D. Vance tossed out that, well, I think the 2028 nominee for the Democrats very well may be none other than the Socialist Democrat, AOC. Because you got to remember, we had Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders was close. Okay. Bernie Sanders was close, even up until the point that they shoved Joe Biden into the chair. Anyway, so AOC, well, she was told about J.D. Vance and saying what he said about her possibly being the candidate. And, well, let's just say she didn't deny it.
J.D. Vance just said in an interview that he thinks you are going to be the leading Democratic candidate for president in 2028. What's your response to that?
I mean, I hope he is. That's what I'll say.
So he's a Republican nominee?
Yeah.
For those of you who are on the audio portion of the program later, when she was asked that question, well, her face got a little red. And she smiled and looked toward the ground and, of course, couldn't answer the question. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. She said she hopes that JD is the candidate. I wonder if she secretly has this thing where she might want to, I don't know, go up against him in some sort of a debate or whatever. Yeah, he's going to wipe the floor with her, though, unfortunately. Anyway, moving on back from 2028, let's bring it back into today. You know that Donald Trump put in a temporary, after DNI Tulsi Gabbard resigned, Trump put in a temporary, an interim chief of national intelligence, an acting national intelligence officer, and his name is Bill Pulte. Now, Bill, well, not everybody liked Bill. In fact, not everybody was really happy about the fact that Bill was there, or is there. And unfortunately, there's nothing that anybody can do about that. But what really is having them shake in their boots is, Donald Trump gave Bill Pulte a carte blanche order. And that carte blanche order is to go ahead and declassify almost everything. He is quoted as telling reporters that he goes, Bill is there for just a fairly short period of time, but while he is there, I said, you can declassify whatever you want. Now, this is how he was going. I mean, this is during his trip to North Dakota on the 1st of July. And he goes, I think that Bill will declassify. Huh. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, Bill Pulte. I kind of hope that he does declassify stuff. And there's one person in particular who is, well, let's just say a little worried about that. A little worried. She is. She's worried. That's none other than the Hildebeest. That's right, the Hildebeest. She went on to a podcast called Democracy Docket, which is hosted by none other than the sleazy liberal lawyer Mark Elias. And, well, this was the exchange. Now, this is audio only.
I hope there are career and even political appointees in various of the agencies that are slow walking or refusing to share information with Pulte.
So, Bill, you mentioned there are a range of things, a range of tools you believe that Congress has. Max, you served on Homeland Security when you were in Congress. Do you agree with former Secretary Clinton there? Do you think that's actually the right approach?
No, that comment did feel a little deep statey.
You think? No, she is obviously worried. Hillary Clinton continued and said that she's worried about everything, or that people should be worried about everything. She also mentioned that the DNI has access to everything that they want to see, meaning the Republicans. Well, of course, the Republicans want to see the reality and the truth. I mean, let's be honest about that. And Clinton continued and said, I hope that there are career and even political appointees in various agencies that are slow walking or refusing to share information with Pulte. Well, you can't really do that. Anyway. Well, we'll see. We'll see what Pulte comes up with. Well, somebody in the Democrat Party is actually learning that Democrat Party policies, Party policies are, well, they're not so great. They're not so great. Hey, I want to give a shout out really quick to a longtime listener, but he doesn't come to the show live. That's T Brooks 123 over on Rumble. Brooks, I'll just call you Brooks. Brooks, I don't drink unless it's Wednesday or Saturday, as they've already pulled out in the chat. It's kind of one of those things, but I'm happy, very happy that you were able to join us tonight live. That's fantastic. All right, let's get on with it. So anybody know of the Democrat strategist known as Axe? The guy is David Axelrod. And, well, David Axelrod was apparently walking around in Chicago. Now, everybody knows that Chicago is a Democrat-run city. Now, Axelrod, for those that don't recall, is former President Barack Obama's chief campaign strategist. He's also a CNN analyst now. And, well, he is criticizing, honestly, he's criticizing Chicago and the Democrats who are there in Chicago. He's criticizing them because of the fact that, well, he was walking around in Chicago and he ran across an unconscious man laying in the heat. Now, as you folks know, that the city of Chicago obviously gets hot in the summer. According to AccuWeather, the day that Axelrod found the individual on July 1st, the official temperature was 97 degrees with a real feel temperature of 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, apparently this homeless individual was laying in the sun in front of the Art Institute of Chicago. He was unconscious, I guess. And so Axelrod, of course, asked the museum security guard about the issue. The security guard basically said, well, she had already woken up the guy 3 times, suggesting that he move to the shade, but that the guy had continued to refuse. Axelrod then said that he dialed 911, and after explaining the situation, the operator allegedly asked, well, is the guy asking for help? After replying that the man hadn't, the female operator allegedly replied, well, I'm not going to send anybody. Axelrod said, well, the man remained passed out in the blazing noon sun. And he says, I guess that's how the city of Chicago deals with such situations. He then said, well, I moved on, and like many others, just simply ignored him. That's the Democrats all up in a nutshell. It literally is them in a nutshell. So hopefully that guy didn't like pass out or die or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if anybody saw this hearing, where it was the House Judiciary Committee, and they were listening or hearing testimony from Jessica Gorman. Now, one of my other Rumble folks, Judge Wild, you should check out his show, but Judge Wild played some of the testimony, and I got to tell you, Jessica Gorman, she was in tears. She was talking about it, about the death of her daughter. And before she even started, I just got to say, Pramila Jayapal, yes, she is a complete, utter, stupid moron from my state. Okay? She doesn't represent me. I'm not in her district. She represents, the city of Seattle, and I am not there. But she piped up and was like, hey, this is the fourth hearing that we've heard about illegal immigration in the country and how bad it is and so on. Can't we just move on and do something else? Well, no, Pramila, we can't. Because it is still a big problem. It is a huge problem. And I got a couple things on that here in just a second. But during this meeting, apparently a representative, what is his name? Representative Mike Lawler, who happens to be from New York, but is a Republican. Well, he and Jamie Raskin kind of got into it. Jamie Raskin, the idiot from Maryland, who's a Democrat, essentially said to Lawler, or reprimanded, Lawler at first. He's like, well, what about, because obviously the Democrats don't want to say things say the names of Laken Riley or Sheridan Gorman, who was the girl that was killed. And actually during her testimony, Sheridan apparently was shot in the back of the head. And one of the more heart-wrenching was the fact that her mother, who was testifying, was saying that she actually was glad that that was the only thing that happened to her, rather than her being raped and dismembered. I mean, how could you not have an emotional heartstring sort of moment for that? Okay. But that spawned a spat between Lawler and, of course, Jamie Raskin. Jamie Raskin brought up Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Now, I'm just going to put this simple to you, okay? Sheridan Gorman, Laken Riley, and any other, you could even go to any other recipient of criminal behavior like this, any other victims. That's the point. They were victims, okay? There is no comparison between the victims of a crime, total innocent people, and Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Now, both of those individuals, yes, it is sad that they lost their lives. Do I wish that they didn't lose their lives? Well, yes, I do. But at the same time, though, especially in the case of Renee Good, she put herself there. She was the attacker because she tried to run over the ICE enforcement officer with her car. There's video of it. Clearly, you can see it. I covered it on this program when it occurred. There is no comparison between them because Alex Preddy was armed and confrontational with the ICE officers. You do something like that, you are just asking for trouble. Whereas people like Laken Riley or Sheridan Gorman, who are just trying to go about their daily business, yeah, they are the actual victims. So anyway, there was a back and forth about him. And, let's just say it didn't go over very well. And so Lawler comes out and he goes, they can save me their crocodile tears about how they didn't like my words or they didn't like the fact that I spoke on policy as a part of my introduction. He told Fox News Digital, and he says, grow the F up. This is another one that I'm going to have to keep an eye on, just like a couple other firebrands that are in them. Lawler said, to fully appreciate and understand why Jessica Gorman is here, you actually have to understand what happened to their daughter. He continues and he says, the reality is they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear what happened with Sheridan Gorman or that the policies that they support, which is open border policies, contributed to her death. He says, that's a fundamental fact. Fundamental fact. And that's true. That is true. Now, the New York Republican, again, Lawler, accused the House Democrats, which this is true, of being more empathetic toward the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy than they were the innocent victims of illegal immigrants. Yep. So anyway, now Raskin, of course, says that Lawler doesn't understand the Constitution. I don't know how that could be the case because, Raskin doesn't understand the Constitution at all. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, and it wasn't very pretty. They went back and forth about it, but I'm going to be honest with you. Raskin is a scumbag. He always has been, and he always will be. Speaking of another scumbag, thanks, Brooks. Appreciate the Rumble rant. Let me see. Is that there? Yep, there it is. All right. Speaking of another, well, let's say really, really nasty individual. I don't know if anybody caught this, but Tim Walz is trying to do the best he can to screw things up in the final days that he has as governor. You know, thank God this guy is going to be gone completely from Minnesota because, and from politics. Because I got to tell you, he definitely has no business being there. But apparently Walz pardoned a criminal illegal who was convicted of sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl. The only reason why he decided to do it is because of the fact the guy was going to be deported. By the way, the illegal alien who was 42 years old. He was from Laos, came to the United States as a child, but back in 2005, he repeatedly sexually assaulted this 10-year-old girl over a period of 2 years. 2 years. Wow. Yeah. Anyway. I don't know why what would be the point? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, the whole purpose of pardons, which if you read the Federalist Papers, in terms of the Constitution of the United States, the whole purpose of the presidential pardon is to essentially right wrongs when the system doesn't work, not let people who have been convicted, rightfully so, for their crimes go. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Well, as we continue with this, the Biden open borders policy contributed to a lot of stuff, but apparently there is another case that is now being dealt with because there was 8 members of the Tren de Aragua gang that have been charged with murder. At least one of the cases, 4 men murdered a father in the Dallas area and kidnapped his 13-year-old daughter and 12-year-old nephew. 5 of these TDA members were charged in connection with the incident, according to U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche. In the Chicago area, 3 more Tren de Aragua members were charged in connection with a case in which a man was abducted, brutally beaten, and ultimately shot several times. And yet, these men should have never been in the country, and the people that were killed should still be alive. The people who were captured should be free. And, anyway. But no, Biden doesn't care, nor do any of the Democrats. They care about people like, Alex Preddy and Renee Good, who put themselves in their places. Anyway. This is just sick and disgusted. Anyway, one thing that is good, though, ICE is continuing its relentless onslaught against the illegal aliens. Yep. Illegal aliens, that's for sure. So ICE has arrested a whopping 10,000 plus illegal aliens in just 5 days this week. All of this, of course, coming on the heels of the disastrous Supreme Court, and by the way, wrong, Supreme Court ruling on birthright citizenship. I talked about that when it happened. 10,000 in 5 days. Can you imagine that? Wow. I mean, seriously. That is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic that they did that. So, and by the way, ICE is seeking to increase those arrests. Agitators have been mobilizing across the country, so don't be surprised if you have another, Renee Good idiot or more, or even Alex Preddy or more. So we're gonna have some serious, quote unquote, fireworks. Anyway, Trump posted about the SCOTUS ruling, and he was like, the Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship, which is too bad for our country, but we can easily make it up in Congress through legislation with the support of the president that has now been determined during this process. No long and unwieldy constitutional amendment is necessary. Congress should start today to work on ending expensive and unfair to our country birthright citizenship. They will have my complete and total support. Well, I put out yesterday, and I was talking about it, I put out yesterday the path forward. See, Donald Trump has carte blanche ability to close the border for any alien, class, group, whatever. He can shut the border down at any time. He can block people from being brought into this country. And in my personal opinion, he should start with anyone who is pregnant or possibly could be pregnant before they even get in here, in terms of getting any kind of an immigration. But anyway, you should check out last night's show. I believe it's episode 928. And you should check that out on Rumble, X, YouTube. And Facebook. Because obviously I wasn't on pilled.net yet. So there you go. Anyway. All right. Congratulations to ICE for what they are doing. Now, in the it's not happening, but it's good that it is files. Yeah, you know how the Democrats are sitting here talking about, oh, no. Nobody who is here illegally would vote in our elections because, that would cause them to be arrested and put in jail. Yeah, they're so honest. Yeah, they're here illegally, but yet they're so honest. Right. Anyway. All I gotta say, folks, is, this is another one. So federal authorities arrested and charged an illegal alien in New Jersey for voting in a federal election. That's right. This 62-year-old from Slovakia was charged with illegally voting in a federal election as well as making false statements while applying for U.S. citizenship. Really? I thought that wasn't happening. Yeah. According to information that was shared with the Daily Caller. I believe it's he. So he allegedly registered to vote in New Jersey, falsely stated that he was a U.S. citizen when doing so. See, this is the problem, okay? This is the problem. The National Voter Registration Act, which was passed in 1993, I think, under Bill Clinton. The National Voter Registration Act, also known as the Motor Voter Act, basically says, hey, when you go and you sign up for a driver's license or interact with the DMV in any way, shape, or form, you get asked a question. And that question comes with a little checkbox. That checkbox is basically where it says, I certify under penalty of perjury that I am, a U.S. citizen. I am allowed to vote in U.S. elections, so on and so forth. Well, here's the problem. The DMV caters to all kinds of different languages, at least in most states. And so what ends up happening is these people, they come in, they just see the checkbox, and they go ahead and check the checkbox. There is no verification or validation of the fact that they are actually here as a American citizen. Now, this is part of the reason why we have the SAVE Act, which is supported across the board with like 83% of all voters, 71% of Democrats, 89% of Republicans. I mean, this is the whole point of the Save America Act, which is to verify through a ID that this person is a U.S. citizen. Pretty simple. Most people would be like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, no different than, yeah, I want to go and I want to buy alcohol. Well, you want to show your ID to prove that you're 21? Oh, sure. Yeah, most people would be like, yep, okay, that's cool. But no. No, these people are not most people because, well, the Democrats are like, oh my God, this is going to stop our illegals from voting. Oh, wait a minute. I thought illegals weren't voting. Which also, too, by the way, I just want to point this out. The Democrats are so excited, and by excited, I mean pissed, about the idea that federal agents might actually be showing up to voting places come November, that they're like, well, they don't need, we're going to block them from being there. I just got a question. At the same time that the Democrats are saying that illegals don't vote, if illegals really don't vote, then why would you care if the officers are at the polling places? See, this is part of the problem with the Democrats. Logic and reason just gets them into a tizzy because they can't quite figure that out. Anyway, apparently this guy went and registered to vote. Again, getting back to the story here. He then voted in a 2022 midterm election, according to the information that was provided to the Daily Caller. He also applied for U.S. citizenship and allegedly claimed that he had never voted in any federal election because, yeah, you can't become a citizen if you've broken the law. Anyway. Well, he never obtained citizenship, thankfully, as his voting history was discovered during the application process and he was denied. Well, no kidding. He should have been. But anyway, for this offense, he could face a maximum of up to 1 year in prison. So the count of voting by an alien in federal election carries a maximum penalty of 1 year. The count of unlawful procurement of citizenship or naturalization carries a maximum penalty of 10 years. Okay. So, by the way, 4 other green card holders that are living in New Jersey were separately charged for illegally voting in federal elections and falsely claiming they never did such a thing. It doesn't happen, but it's good that it's happening, according to the Democrats. Total bullshit is what it is. Sorry. Anyway, by the way, there have been studies that are out there that are simply saying that while illegal aliens voting in elections are rare, that other studies are showing that, well, it can still have an impact on the results of elections. Yeah. Anyway, we just need to pass the SAVE Act. That's all there is to it. We just need to pass the SAVE Act. And Thune is not doing it. Well, scooting on a little bit away from elections and so on and so forth. You know, Jill Biden. Yeah, you know, they've been trotting out Joe here recently. They've been trotting him out because for whatever reason they seem to think, or at least Jill seems to think, that he's going to garner some attention for her book. Well, there's a bit of a problem about that. According to this this article in Red State, first of all, Jill is not very popular right now, even with her older aides and things like that. She put out this book. I don't know if it was to, try and like salvage her reputation or maybe, I don't know, make her look better than what she was, and it's not working. First of all, there really isn't a whole hell of a lot of interest. And the reason why they're saying that is apparently, according to Hot Air, her book hit number 1 on the New York Times hardcover notification list on June 21st. But there was a caveat. Now, that caveat is a dagger. Now, that dagger symbol means that the New York Times has reason to believe that the number of books sold is influenced by what they call bulk sales. Now, bulk sales can happen legitimately when bookstores are gearing up toward maybe a rush, or they're gearing up toward maybe a visit by the author who might be doing or performing like a signing event or something like that. Now, you'll recall Joe Biden wrote a book as well, and he reportedly sold a bunch of copies. And further investigation found out that it was actually his, I think it was his campaign PAC that actually purchased a bunch of the copies of the books. Anyway, that being said, this book, which had that little dagger indication, then dropped to number 3 the following week. And then it dropped off the list altogether. So former 538 founder Nate Silver kind of speculated that the bulk sales were as he called them, AstroTurf. He thought it was very rare for a #1 book to fall that fast. And then he made a joke that only political reporters are actually reading it. I don't even think political reporters are reading it. I don't think anybody could care. Yeah. Anyway, the bottom line about all this is, how fast the book dropped. And just to give you a comparison, okay, Jill's book versus Melania Trump's book. Melania Trump's book came out in October of 2024 and was on the list for 11 weeks. So it was a New York Times #1 bestseller for 11 weeks. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, who's in the #1 slot position as of the time of this writing? Well, none other than Vice President J.D. Vance's book. And by the way, apparently, according to the author, Vice President Vance's book doesn't have the dagger symbol next to it. Oh, well, really quickly, before we leave tonight, I'm just going to say some information has come out about Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, who, by the way, I think is missing right now, or at least nobody has heard about his condition. Apparently, Mitch McConnell was found unconscious in his D.C. home last month, and that he reportedly had to have CPR performed on him on June 14th. Mitch McConnell is in some serious issues. He's having some serious health issues. I hope that he essentially gets the help that he needs. And yeah, I think this is his last term in the Senate anyway. But even if it isn't, I hope he gets the help that he needs, because, that's just the way we roll around here. Speaking of how we roll, I broadcast Monday through Friday and Saturday. Monday through Friday, I start 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday, I start 1 hour later, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. We will see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, for an edition, and then I will be broadcasting on July 4th. So be ready for that. That one's at 6 p.m. So tomorrow night at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern. Saturday night, 6 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Before you guys take off, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, a thumb sideways if you're 3 Chevy, or a thumb at an angle across all my platforms, whether it's X, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, and of course now, pilled.net. That's pilled, PILLED.net. You guys might want to go and check that out. Anyway, we will see you tomorrow night. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.